everyone, Denise here from Sewlimitless, and in today's video I'm going to tell you my least favorite sewing tasks. So let's get started. First of all, welcome back to the channel if you're returning. If you're new here, then hi, my name is Denise, and today I want to tell you some of the things that I really don't like doing. But I love to sew, but there are certain tasks that you have to do in order to get to that point where you can actually start sewing, putting the garment together, whatever. So that's what I'm going to tell you about today. So one of the first things for me, and it's always been this way, is marking. I like when you have to do those pattern marks and you're doing the different lines, say if it's a dart or whatever. I don't like doing that. And I don't think I ever have, actually. That's always been one of my least favorite things. But it's actually one of the most important things, because I realized that when I mark the garment, the pattern piece, and do it well, then you get better results. So yeah, it's one of the more important things, but also one of my least favorite. So that's the first one. And let me just add, like currently I am working on a project where I have to do, I guess, tailor's tacks, that kind of a thing, where I'm basting the lines for where the darts are going to be, that kind of thing. And I really don't like that. If I could just use the tracing wheel and the tracing paper, that would be fine. But because of the fabric, let me show you. Now, this is one of the fabrics I featured in a previous video. This is a little leftover piece here. I bought this on Mood Fabrics. It's beautiful fabric. It's very lightweight, but it's rather delicate, and because of that, the tracing carbon, that doesn't really show up on there. So I'm doing the tailor's tacks, I guess is what it's called. And I also, I think, am going to need to go over that maybe with like a chalk line, because parts of it are hard to see. And honestly, the older I get, the more I need to be able to see exactly where the marks are and what I'm doing. So I'm going to have to go over the stitching lines that I put on the pattern for the marks, for the darts and different things like that. So it's creating quite a process. Hopefully everything will work out in the end, and I can show you that project eventually when it gets done. But yeah, that's part of the marking process that I really, really just don't like. Another thing that I'm not so against it now, but is cutting. Obviously, you got to cut the pattern out in order to be able to stitch it up. But one of the things I noticed is that I dislike it less and less now. So one of the things I do often is I will record myself cutting out the pattern. And when I record myself, it's not so bad because it's kind of fun. So that's one of the things that I do now. But obviously back in the day when 50 years ago, that wasn't an option. But yeah, it's something that you just have to do. Obviously, you got to get through it. But that is another one of the things that is not particularly a favorite task of mine for sewing. The next thing, I believe this is the third item on my little list here, is cutting out the interfacing. I don't mind interfacing per se, but cutting out the interfacing can be kind of annoying because I feel like I have to start over. This is one of those things, and I don't know if you all do this differently. I cut out all my main pieces first out of the fabric that I'm using, and then I will cut out the interfacing pieces. So after I cut out the main pieces, I will cut out the interfacing pieces. And I lay all that out. Like, I'm always happy when I get the main pieces cut out, and then I remember, oh yeah, I have pieces that need to be interfaced. So that can be a little annoying for me. I don't know if you all feel differently, but I'm just giving you my list of my least favorite sewing tasks. The fourth item on my list is, let's see, how can I put this? Well, what I wrote down is screwing up. So what I mean by that is clearly making a mistake, and then you've got to unpick your stitches. And by the way, the last time I ordered from Wawak, I did order several seam rippers, so I have some new ones. And just so you all know, it is much better, it's much easier and faster if you have a new seam ripper or one that's actually sharp. Don't use one from top 5-10 years ago that you still had just because it's not broken. That's what I used to do. Don't do that. It's so much easier if you have one that's relatively new and it's faster and you can really get in there and get those stitches out. Do that. So anyway, messing up the construction is one of those things. And this happens to everyone. Don't think that if you're only a new sewer that it happens to you. It happens to everyone. They just won't tell you about it all the time. And you do have to just undo the stitches and start from wherever you were supposed to do the right thing. Now, for me personally, messing up usually happens if I'm tired, which is actually one of the reasons I rarely sew, well, I almost never sew late at night. Now, the last thing on my list is kind of funny because one of the things that I dislike is putting that pattern back in the envelope after I'm done. So you will often press the pattern pieces, on really low heat. Obviously, you don't want to burn your pattern, the paper. I will press out those pattern pieces when I take the pattern out before I lay it out because I don't want any creases or anything like that. But I did see Mimi G did a video maybe a year or so ago where she pressed the pieces and folded it back up and put it back in the envelope. I had never honestly thought of doing that. I don't like trying to figure out how to get the pattern back into that little envelope. Now, I know some people use the larger manila envelopes and they will put a picture of the pattern on the cover on the front so that they know what it is. That would be fine, but that's not my storage situation here. So that just makes it more difficult. I just put them back in the same envelope. But yeah, they are kind of a mess when I do that, but it is what it is. Now, having gone through this list, let me just say, none of this probably, for the most part, none of this really has any basis in logic whatsoever. It's just my personal feeling about how certain tasks take more time. Certain tasks have to be done, obviously cutting, marking, all that kind of thing, if you want good results. But that's just that's how I feel about it. I love the sewing part, but I don't always want to do the prep work or the clean up afterward work. And definitely don't want to have to do the screwing up and got to redo it work. So anyway, that's just my list. Let me know in the comments below if there are things that you all really don't like doing before or after when you can get to the sewing process. Like you really like the sewing, but you don't want to do certain things. So let me know in the comments down below. But that is it for this video. I thank you for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button and go ahead and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified the next time I upload a new video. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching and take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.